Today we'll be demonstrating how to use and install the Tiki TopHat hub and ultra-high molecular weight polyethylene drill motor mount. See that the front uses the double D-shaped cutout to match the nose piece on the cordless drill, and the round is matched to the size of the 550 motor. The Tiki TopHat hub has a 3/8 24 threaded bore to mate with the spindle thread on the front of the motor, and the boss is a tight interference fit with the bore of the Coulson. So step one is to knock out the Delrin bushing out of the Coulson. An arbor press makes this a very easy task. However, the same can be accomplished with much more simple tools. Alright, now that the bushings are pressed out, could simply just press these hubs in and glue them, but it's a much better contact if face off this boss on the Coulson caster to make a nice flat surface with lots of glue surface. So this is a Harbor Freight tiny lathe, 7x10. About the same job can be accomplished with one of these, a spade or paddle bit. I've found that this wheel will not sit flat on most tables. A roll of tape is an excellent way to keep it parallel to the table and perpendicular to the drill bit. Go slow, take your time. Adhesive, my recommendation is shoe glue. The E6000 adhesive will also work, as well as rubberized CA glue. Isopropyl to get the oils off of the parts and any sort of mold release off of the Coulsons. Squish. And squish. Delicious. Okay, so now let's turn our attention back to the mounts. So step one is to heavily deburr one face of these mounts. You can either use a Stanley knife or a deburring tool is the preferred. You want to give yourself a nice lead-in to help fit these onto the motors. They are a very tight press fit on most. I have found manufacturing differences between models and brands of these drills, so these are made on the small side to give you the most interference fit possible, as well as give yourself a nice lead on this part as well. The other matter is all of these drill type gearboxes have this key rib here. Instead of cutting relief for that into the mount, I merely use the Stanley knife and whittle this off. It takes but a few minutes. You can also use a file. File works pretty well. But as you can see, that's a matter of a few seconds and that's gone. Also, If the mount is just absolutely too tight to fit on the drill motor, it's much easier to file this nose piece than it is to try and open up the D-shaped bore in the mount. The ultra-high molecular weight is very tough stuff. This, by comparison, is much easier to work. Okay, so the trick to these mounts, if there is such a thing, other than giving yourself that nice generous chamfer, is once you get them started, if they're being a little difficult, the front mounts don't seem to be, but the back motor mounts do seem to be a little tight. The trick is, once you get them started on there, is just kind of to walk away and let it sit for about 5 minutes. Because the ultra-high molecular weight polyethylene has a high degree of creep, in that if you let it sit, the plastic will kind of relax a little bit, and then it'll be much easier to get them on there. Also, a little bit of heat is never a bad thing to apply. Heat gun works pretty well. And of course, if you're impatient, having the right tools makes everything easier.